Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the BB Series. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode as well as last week's panel discussion. Also, a reminder, every Sunday at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube Live is the BB Live panel discussion with my co-hosts Chanel, Schwartz, and Tate. I hope you guys are enjoying the discussions we've had thus far because I have. It's been a fun discussion. We've been sipping, we've been talking, we have just been letting loose. And I hope you guys will join us again this Sunday as there is another panel discussion. Also, guys, reminder to please get your BB merch, okay? This is the BB Black Bonnet. You know, of course, it's called the Black Bonnet. I had to make a bonnet for you guys to wear while watching the show. Get it from your moms, your sisters, your dads, you know. Protect your hair and get the bonnet. Also, make sure you get your hoodie. And just click down below in my link in the description box to check out some merch. All right, y'all, let's get right into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the Black Female Heroine because, again, it's still Black History Month, baby. So I still have to give you some blackness, which is what the show's all about. Happy Black History Month, by the way. We're black every day, not just in a month. Okay, so today's topic is called the Black Female Heroine because I felt like it was very important for, especially given that the viewer base is very heavily much Black females. I wanted to dedicate this episode to you guys because I feel like it's about time that as a community and as a generation we talked about this idea of the Black strong woman, you know, and how much it really does affect Black women in the community. And so yeah, that's why today's topic is called the Black Female Heroine. Different psychologists have tried to study this, you know, cultural trope about the strong Black woman, and what they have labeled it as is the superwoman schema. That's their technical term for it. And with the superwoman schema, there are 5 elements to the superwoman schema, aka the strong Black woman. Number 1, it's the feeling obligated to present an image of strength. Number 2, feeling an obligation to suppress one's emotions. Number 3, resistance to being vulnerable. That one right there. 4, a drive to succeed despite limited resources. And last but not least, feeling obligated to help others, especially within the community. And I just feel like knowing that these are the 5 facets to the strong Black woman cultural trope, it just makes me realize the fact that, like, the minute a Black female is born, this is what society and people in the community place on her. These 5 expectations, these 5, beliefs that she needs to have in order to survive, especially the one talking about feeling an obligation to suppress one's emotions and the resistance to being vulnerable. And I feel like there's a major resistance to being vulnerable and expressing our emotion because we don't want to be labeled the angry Black woman, which, funny enough, is a cultural trope that was created during the menstrual show period by a white woman who was pretending to be Black on stage. So when people label you, oh, you're just an angry Black woman, or she's just so angry, so aggressive, you have a slave mentality. You're literally just pushing around slave ideals. Let's stop that. Let's stop that because you're still deciding to push around these ideals that I cannot be a woman if I speak my truth or if I just express my emotion. But instead I have to be an angry Black woman because I'm just saying how I feel. I'm just showing you my frustration. I'm just showing you my tears. I'm just showing you that I'm sad. That's very weird and that's very slave mentality. And we need to fix that. Okay? And the worst part is that even though Black women, we have all this pressure to feel a certain type of way, the most fucked up thing is that it's also become our defense when we face racial discrimination and colorism. This is our defense. The strong Black woman is our defense when it comes to these things. Suppressing our emotion is our defense to coping. It's our coping mechanism. Feeling like we can't be vulnerable is our defense mechanism. So when people, especially black men, when they say, oh, a black woman always comes ready, she's guarded, she always wants to be independent, that is just such a blow to the chest, because it's like, you guys made me this way. Society made me this way, so I have to be this way in order for me to survive, in order for me to cope. It's not something I choose to do daily. I don't choose to want to survive by myself. I don't choose to want to be alone, but I have to in order to survive. So black men, the next time you see another black woman who is doing her thing, who's independent, who works hard by herself, who's diligent, who's intelligent, and who doesn't want to let her guard down, it's not that she chose that lifestyle, it's that that's her coping mechanism against racial discrimination and colorism. And what your job as a black man, your job as a man, period, is to help her feel safe enough to let that guard down. Because sadly enough, a lot of black women might not have had a great example of what a man should be. A lot of us have had single mothers raise us, me included. My mother, my aunt, my grandmother, all these strong black women, they taught me, do not be vulnerable. Okay? You don't cry. To this day, I can count on maybe one finger the amount of times I see my mother cry, and I'm 21. Okay? That's what's instilled in me, because black women, we're meant to carry it on for the community. We're meant to show to the storm. We're meant to just be there, be strong no matter what. But you know what's even more fucked up? It's affecting our mental health. It's affecting our health. Okay? So a university, UC Berkeley, right? The UC Berkeley School of Public Health, right? They did an experiment led by Dr. Allen. They did an experiment, right? To see how much it's affecting black women's health. Okay? Number one, after they did the research, they saw that there was a correlation between women suppressing their emotions. They had lower levels of stress. And they concluded that because they had low levels of stress, it probably was because that was their way of coping. Even though statistically they say holding on to your emotions, gives you more stress. But for a black woman, us keeping our emotions inside helps alleviate some of our stress, because we're just like, you know what? There's no point in focusing on what we can't control anymore. There's no point in focusing on the colorist black man, or the white woman who wants to be microaggressive today at work, or the white man who just wants to fetishize me. I can't control that, so I'm gonna just let it go. Okay? Now, the sad thing is that with the trope of the strong black woman, it is not just, it's affecting our mental health, but also our livelihood to survive. Okay? Number one, black women are 5 times more likely to die during childbirth because of their strength in the UK. Meanwhile, in the US, we are 2 to 6 times more likely to die. Because, you're a strong black woman, you should be able to handle some pain. We are dying giving birth. That's a huge issue. And the worst part is, for y'all to think, y'all think this is a joke, but no, in a lot of medical books, this is what they say, that black people can handle pain more. Oh my gosh, I wish I remember the book, but legit, it's in a medical book. That's not true. We're still human. But hey, the strong black woman should be able to withstand any storm, any pain. Yet we're dying. We're 5 times more likely to die compared to our white counterparts. 6 times more likely to die in the US. Okay. Not only just that, but African American women are likely than any other race or gender to experience heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Because again, we're strong black women, we gotta keep it all in. You can handle the pain. This is what this cultural trope is doing to us black women. It's killing us. A 2014 report from Columbia Law School Center for Intersectionality and Social Policy Studies and African American Policy Forum, tongue twister, found that black women are 6 times more likely to face out-of-school suspensions for the same infractions their white peers commit. Darker-skinned black girls are almost twice as likely to receive a suspension than their own lighter-skinned black female peers. According to a 2017 study in School Psychology Quarterly found that darker-skinned black girls are almost twice as likely to receive a suspension than their own lighter-skinned black female peers. According to a 2017 University of Florida Levin College of Law study examining violence against black women, black girls are perceived as needing less protection and nurturing and more knowledgeable about sex. These assumptions lead to the hypersexualization of black girls in our own community, with black men calling them fast or promiscuous and engaging in predatory behavior towards them. I'm gonna go back. Okay, the study found that it said black women are seen as needing less protection and less nurturing. Because we so strong, we don't need to be protected. We so strong, we hold it down for the community, we hold it down for our black men, we hold it down for our black sisters. But we don't need to be checked up on. We don't need to be protected. We don't need to be nurtured. That makes sense to you? It's almost as if black women are seen as these invincible superwomen that don't need any help. But that's not true. Because black women, we're still human. We're human. We're human. Don't ever let that leave your mind. Your mom, she's human. Your grandmother, she's human. Your girlfriend, she's human. Your wife, human. Your daughter, human. Your cousin, your nieces, they're all human. Doesn't matter their skin tone, they are human. To continue on with the reality of how this cultural trope is killing us, African American women are likely to die at a younger age than any other racial group. Okay? Black women's mental illness often go undiagnosed due to issues of stigmatization and access to care. Black women often avoid seeking treatment for mental health concerns for fear of being called crazy. We don't want to be labeled as crazy, even though the gag is we still get labeled as crazy no matter what we do. We speak, you're crazy. We breathe wrong, you're crazy. We blink, you're crazy. We stand up for ourselves, we're crazy. We vote for Biden, we're crazy. Also, shout out to the 98% of black women that voted for Biden. Thank you. You saved America from itself. Black children are more likely to be victims of serious violent crimes, making them more likely to need treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder and other forms of psychological distress. A recent study shows that suicide rates for black children aged 5 to 12 were roughly 2 times higher than those of similarly aged white children, while older black children ages 13 to 17 were less likely to die by suicide. However, they are more likely to attempt suicide. Yet we're meant to be strong. We're meant to weather the storm. We're meant to hold it down, be a ride or die. All I gotta say is at this point, black women, listen to me closely. Speak your mind. Seek help. If you need help, go get it. If you need to speak to someone, go get it. Because the worst part is that this idea of the strong black woman is killing us to the point where we are reporting depression and anxiety higher than any other racial group or gender. This idea that black women, we don't need protection, we don't need to be nurtured, is a trope that needs to stop. This idea of the angry black woman, like I said before, it's a slave mentality. Like, you're weird if you still believe that. We are human beings, we are women, we are allowed to express how we feel. Okay? I'm gonna speak more about this during the live panel, because I have a lot more to say about what I've experienced as a Black woman, but I feel that's better saved for the live panel. So if you want to hear some true experiences, some raw emotion, come to the live panel this Sunday at 7 p.m. Okay? There's going to be a lot more said, but now that you know the facts, ask yourself this question. Are you going to continue to be quiet? Are you going to continue to weather the storm alone? Or are you going to change that? Because Black women, we cannot continue to die. We will not continue to die. Happy Black History Month, everyone. I hope that this week is filled with blessings, love, and greatness. Thank you so much for joining me as you have gotten the facts, you've sipped, and you've relaxed. I'll catch you next week.